A change is coming to your Social Security payment. You may have already heard about it, but before you spend a single cent of that extra money, I need to give you the complete truth. Because right now, 3 separate things are happening to your check, not sometime in the future. Right now, the first one quietly takes most of that increase back before it ever reaches your bank account. The second is a penalty charge you never agreed to, calculated on income from 2 years ago. And the third can stop your payment entirely if you do nothing about it. Here is what makes all 3 so damaging. Each one was designed to move without making any noise, no phone call, no bold warning letter in the mail. You're expected to discover what happened the month your check falls short, and by that point, son, the money is already gone. The timing is what makes this moment so critical, because these are not forgotten rules sitting on a dusty shelf. The pieces are falling into place right now, this season, during these very months. The increase, the penalty notices, the end of paper checks, they are landing on kitchen tables all across this country as you watch this, which means the window to get ahead of all 3 is open right now. This is the season to get it sorted, while every option is still in front of you. Now stay with me, because there is one more thing. For one of these 3 situations, most of the people affected already meet the requirements to stop it completely. They qualify today, and almost none of them ever file the paperwork, because no one ever told them the paperwork existed. Before this video ends, I will tell you which one and exactly where the solution is hiding. My name is Kevin. I study the rules so you do not have to. If you are new here, this channel exists for one reason. We read the fine print that decides what happens to your money, so you find out before the system makes the decision for you. Subscribe and turn on the bell, because at least one of these 3 is going to affect someone you love. The first one, dressed as good news. Let me start with the first one because it arrives wearing a disguise. It walks through the door looking like good news. Each year, they announce an increase to Social Security called the Cost of Living Adjustment. Verified card source, Social Security Administration, ssa.gov. Confirm current year COLA percentage before recording. And every year, millions of people see that headline and feel a small breath of relief. A little more money coming in, finally. But here is what that headline never mentions. The single largest healthcare cost most older Americans carry, the Medicare Part B premium, is pulled directly from your Social Security payment before you ever see it. Verified card source, medicare.gov. Part B premium deducted from Social Security benefit. You do not pay it separately. You do not write a check for it. It is simply removed from the top, automatically every single month. And here is the trap. That premium goes up too. So when your raise arrives, the premium increase reaches into that very same check and pulls a portion of the raise right back out. Some years, the premium rises almost as much as the benefits increase. Verified card source, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Confirm current year Part B premium figure before recording. Some years, for certain people, it takes nearly the entire gain. So you are told you received a raise, but the number that actually lands in your account barely moved or did not move at all. That is not an accident. That is arithmetic. And nobody explains the arithmetic to you. The raise itself is built on a measurement never designed around your life. The cost of living adjustment tracks a collection of prices that leans heavily on what working age people spend money on: commuting fuel and everyday goods. It does not emphasize the costs that drain an older person's budget most: medical expenses, prescription medications, and the cost of staying housed as you age. Verified card source, COLA index tied to a general price measure, not senior-specific costs. So the expenses hitting you hardest grow faster than the adjustment meant to cover them. The raise was already running behind before the premium ever touched it, every single year. By design, it is not keeping you even. It is simply slowing the rate at which you fall behind. Let me tell you about Roscoe. Roscoe is 72. He lives in Zanesville, Ohio. He drove a delivery route for a bakery for 31 years. Same roads, same houses, every morning before sunrise. When the raise was announced, Roscoe sat down at his kitchen table with a pencil and worked out what his new check should be. His previous payment was around $1,800 a month. The raise was supposed to add just over $40. To Roscoe, that was the electric bill in winter. That was real. Then the first new check arrived, and it was nearly identical to the one before. Not $40 more, just a few dollars more. He thought he had made a pencil error. He recalculated. The math was right. The raise was real. It simply never reached him. Because the Part B premium had gone up by nearly the same amount at the exact same time and silently swallowed almost the entire increase. The raise gave him $40. The premium took most of it back. Nobody sent Roscoe a letter saying his raise had been reclaimed. They sent a congratulations letter and a separate, quieter premium notice he never connected to the first one. 2 letters written so you would never think to lay them side by side. Now here is the part that matters most. That premium is not the same amount for everyone. For a large number of people on fixed incomes, there is a program whose entire job is to pay that Part B premium on your behalf. Verified card source, Medicare savings programs, QMB, SLMB, QI, Medicare.gov. So the money being pulled from the top of your check stays in your check instead. Many people who are certain they earn too much actually do not qualify. The income lines are higher than most people assume. People eliminate themselves in their own heads and never even ask the question. Do not be your own gatekeeper. Let them be the ones to say no. Very often they will not. Roscoe qualified the entire time. Every winter he chose between the electric bill and something else. The money to cover that premium was already his to claim. He simply never knew a door existed, let alone where to find the handle. The second one, reaching back in time. Now the second change. If the first one made you uneasy, this one will make you sit up straight. Because this one reaches backward through time. The government can raise the amount taken from your check based on income you earned 2 years ago. Verified card source, Social Security Administration, and CMS, Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, IRMAA, 2 years ago. Not this year, not last year, the year before that. It is called the Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. Most people simply call it a surcharge. If your income crossed a certain threshold, the government decides you can afford more for Medicare and adds a surcharge directly on top of your premium, pulled straight out of your Social Security check. And it rises in steps. You can cross a single line by a small margin and jump to the next level all at once. A few extra dollars of income above one line can cost you hundreds across the year, sometimes more than 1,000. Verified card source, CMS. IRMAA is a cliff, not a gradual slope. Confirm current year bracket amounts before recording. That is what a cliff looks like, not a gentle slope. A ledge you step off of without warning. And here is what catches careful people completely off guard. They do not look at what you earn today. They look back 2 years, because that is the last completed tax return they have reviewed. Verified card source, CMS. IRMA, a 2-year look back. So a single strong year, 2 years in the past, can raise the amount pulled from your check today, even if your income has since dropped to nearly nothing. A home sale, a larger retirement withdrawal, an old policy cashed out. 1 good year before full retirement. For 1 year on paper, your income appeared high. That year is over. That money is spent. But the surcharge arrives 2 years later, taking its portion every month. Let me tell you about Maybelle. Maybelle is 74. She lives in Boone, North Carolina. 2 years ago, she sold the family home. Too big, too many stairs, too much yard. That sale made her income look large on paper for 1 year only. She used most of it to move near her daughter and had little remaining. This year, her Medicare surcharge activated. A new deduction from her check every month, tied to a house she no longer owns. She called Medicare convinced it was an error. It was not. The rule was working exactly as written. This one also strikes widows in a particularly painful way. Let me tell you about Juanita. Juanita is 71. She lives in Pueblo, Colorado. Her husband passed last year. While there were 2 of them filing jointly, their household income sat comfortably below the surcharge threshold. But when you lose a spouse and begin filing alone, that threshold drops sharply. The same household income that was perfectly acceptable for two can now push a widow over the line entirely on her own. Juanita lost her husband, and then months later, the government reached into her check and took more because of the arithmetic of being one person instead of two. The surcharge does not arrive in the worst month when grief is still raw. It waits. It shows up quietly a year or more later when she is alone and least expecting one more blow. But here is what almost nobody uses. If the reason your income appeared high was a life event, you retired, you lost your spouse, you sold a home once and never will again, there is a process to tell the government to recalculate based on the life you are actually living today. Verified card source, Social Security Administration. Life-changing event determination form, SSA 44. There is a specific form. There is a list of qualifying life events, and there is a filing window. When it works, the surcharge comes off, and the check comes back up, sometimes all the way back to the month it started. People win these, but only the people who file them. The mistake is never filing too soon. The mistake is always believing the letter was final and doing nothing at all. The third one, the quietest change. Now the third change, and this one is the quietest of all, which is exactly why it will catch the most people off guard. The paper check is ending. Verified card source, US Department of the Treasury. Phase out of paper checks for federal payments. Confirm current phase-out date before recording. For decades, tens of millions of Americans received Social Security the same way. A check in the mailbox on the same predictable day, every month. The federal government is ending that and moving every federal payment to electronic delivery only, either through direct deposit or onto a government-issued prepaid card. The reasons are straightforward. Paper checks get lost and stolen. A paper check sitting in a rural mailbox on the same day each month is a target, and processing paper costs far more than electronic payments. Verified card source, US Department of the Treasury. Paper check fraud and cost. An electronic payment cannot be lifted from a mailbox, so the transition is genuinely the safer road. The danger is being caught unprepared on the very month the paper stops. Let me tell you about Delmer. Delmer is 78. He lives outside Webo, Montana. It is a long way from anywhere. Delmer has never had a bank account, not out of stubbornness, but because there was simply never a branch close enough to matter. The paper check always came and always worked. Now he is being told the paper is going away. His fear is simple and total. If there is no account for the payment to land in, does the money just stop? Here is what nobody clearly told him. You do not need a bank account to receive money electronically. The government offers a prepaid card that your payment loads onto every month. You use it, like any bank card at a store or cash machine. No branch required. Verified card source, US Department of the Treasury. Direct Express card. Confirm current program details before recording. That one fact changes everything for Delmer. And there is also a hardship waiver for people who genuinely cannot manage any electronic method at all. Verified card source, US Department of the Treasury. Electronic payment hardship waiver. Confirm current process before recording, but that waiver is not automatic. It only protects the people who claim it in time. Let me also tell you about Hattie. Hattie is 80. She lives in Bogalusa, Louisiana. She has a bank, but she has heard the wrong things about prepaid cards. That they are a scam. That money can vanish. That the whole thing is a trick. So frightened, she has decided to do nothing and hope the paper keeps coming. Let me say this plainly. The government card is not a scam. The real danger is not the electronic payment. The real danger is freezing, doing nothing, and letting fear make the decision. When the paper stops and you have set up nothing to replace it, your payment does not disappear forever, but it stops arriving. It waits in suspension for you to say where to send it. A payment that is delayed feels identical to a payment that is lost when you are standing at the grocery store checkout. That is why the deadline is not something to drift toward. It is something to beat. If you make any choice at all, direct deposit, the prepaid card, or the hardship waiver, your money keeps coming on time, and more securely than paper ever provided. Bringing it all together. Now let me bring all three together so you walk away with the full picture. 1. The raise is real, but the premium quietly takes most of it back, and for many people, a program will cover that premium entirely if they simply claim it. 2. The surcharge reaches back 2 years and can strike after a home sale or the loss of a spouse, and a life event form can have it removed. 3. The paper check is ending, and doing nothing's the only genuine risk because a prepaid card, direct deposit, or hardship waiver will all keep your money flowing safely. 3 changes, 3 doors, and every single one already unlocked. Here is your checklist. 5 things to do this week. 1. Take your most recent Social Security statement and set it beside the one from before your raise. Compare the real bottom line numbers and see how much of that increase actually reached you. 2. If the premium is eating your check and money is tight, find out whether a program that covers the premium applies to your situation. Your local state health insurance assistance program can help you in person for free. 3. If a surcharge appeared on your Medicare tied to a one-time event like a home sale or the loss of a spouse, do not simply pay it. A life event form exists and so does a filing window. Find both before the window closes. 4. If you or anyone you love still receives a paper check, do not wait for a letter that cuts the payment off. Set up direct deposit, request the government card, or claim the hardship waiver while the paper is still arriving. 5. Share this video with one person over 60 living on a fixed income. One of these 3 changes is about to touch their check, and they have almost certainly never heard a word about any of it. These are not just names in a video. Roscoe running pencil math that always came out short. Gladys holding a check that shrank the year they told her it would grow. Mabel charged for a home she no longer owns. Juanita penalised for the loss of the man she loved. Delma afraid the money would simply stop. Hattie so frightened of the solution, she nearly let the danger win. 6 people, 6 kitchen tables, 6 letters that said almost nothing and meant almost everything. Every one of them had a door already unlocked right in front of them, and everyone stood there in the dark because no one said the door was there. None of these rules were written to be announced. They were written to be applied quietly to people who would not know a form stood between them and their own money. The people who get hurt are almost never the people with no options. They are the people who did not know the options existed until the money was already gone. These rules count on you not paying attention. So paying attention today is how you win. Not spending more, not fighting harder, just knowing before the letter comes that a door exists and where to find the handle. That is the entire difference between the people who keep their money and the people who lose it. It was never about who deserved it. It was only ever about who knew. I am Kevin. Thank you for watching. Check out the quiet rules at kevinexplains.shop. The link is in the description and the pinned comment below. 7-day guarantee. Always, if it does not hand you something you did not already have, you send it back.